I'm joined today by Dorothy Crossley. Dorothy is Kate Crossley's mum, but she's a textile artist in her own right, which I hadn't realised when Kate very kindly invited us to her home. And we're surrounded by some very vibrant tapestries, you called them.
Yes, it is. It is traditional tapestry weaving, although, as I say, a lot of the stitches I've taken on to exaggerate to make them more tasselled and more looped.
Textured and
More
looped.
textured, yes. Yes.
This is a beautiful piece you said was of, I mean, it's clearly sunset.
It's a Pembrokeshire landscape.
Yes.
Yes.
And with lovely
Pembrokeshire
orange
sunset.
colours.
Yes.
Traditional tapestry again, you said?
Very traditional, yes, sort of plain weave. Practically all, yes, it's plain weave all the way through, just sort of simple plain weave.
Okay, forgive my ignorance and my confusion. I thought tapestry was done with a needle and...
No, that is embroidery tapestry.
Oh, okay. This
where
is more
you work
weaving.
on a canvas. This is weaving,
Right.
like the old tapestries that you see in homes, in stately homes, were done in this manner.
Oh,
All
were
the
they?
Gobelin tapestries were done in this manner.
Oh, okay.
Working on a warp, stretched over a distance, and then every line worked in by hand.
So very thin threads were used.
Sometimes, yes. I work a bit
Because
more
you've got a lot of
fully
threads
than
in
that,
here.
yes. I work, again, a little more flamboyantly, if you like. But you can be as fine as pure silk. You know, you can do it very, very finely.
Yes. And you were explaining that by just adding one extra strand of colour, you're
That's
obviously
right.
going to get the shading,
Yes.
aren't you? Which is
can
quite
see
beautiful.
probably in some of these
These-
blues
the
where there's a whole
turquoisey.
mixture of very fine threads.
Yes, lovely.
I'll sometimes use up to 40 different threads in a very, very fine, either a fine cotton or silk. I use quite a lot of silk in things as well. But then I'll bring in little bits of glitter,
was
and
gonna
then
say, got
this
glitz
slightly
here.
textured thread that was like that anyway.
Yeah, that's really nice, isn't it? Because it all sort of
Yes,
comes
again,
out. Yes.
it's my texture coming.
No, I think that's really lovely. It makes you want to stroke it. That's what
Yes.
quilters
Well,
do.
they're very robust.
Yes.
They are robust, you know. And I did put work once when I was in the Midlands. There was an exhibition, and it was for partially sighted and blind people, and it was mainly sculpture. And they asked me if I'd put some work in, and did I mind if people were touching it? And I found that rather lovely. That
they
people
wanted
could
to touch.
actually
Yes,
touch things
yes.
and feel
And
the
see.
textures of them.
See with their
and
fingers.
as I say, they're robust. They are robust.
And there's this lovely vibrant red that's everywhere in this hallway, complete with tassels, you said was inspired from your Indian trip.
Very much from a trip that I did to India. It's some years ago now, but I still find ideas keep coming up. And in fact, it's strange, it was about 2 years before I could do any work that really reflected the Indian trip. And a friend of mine, Jean Draper, she was on the course as well. She's an embroideress. And I phoned her the day I'd started, and she'd only just started as well. She'd taken sort of best part of 2 years for it to digest and
Yes,
develop
filter
in your
through.
head.
Yes.
And really sort of come into fruition in the actual pieces.
And the piece that is hanging over a lovely mirror in the hall here, you said
Yes.
is actually designed to go over a door.
It's really a door hanging, a toran it's called
Right.
in India, and there's a lot of them in place in India, but I don't have a door here that it goes round, so I've put it round the mirror.
But it's very chunky at the top.
Oh
so
yes.
Up
yes.
so for loops and
Yes.
bits there.
Yes, again, traditional tapestry stitches, but I've exaggerated them and done them in thicker yarns and in more quantity of yarns to make them richer again. And the one above us here, that's also a toran, but a much smaller version, a much sort of more relaxed version, I suppose, of a toran, with it just being a short one, just over the door.
Just like, yes.
Yes, but they were everywhere in India. You know, you'd see these little trimmings over doors. Even in the little places that were made virtually out of mud, they'd have their hangings over the doors as well, which was lovely.
And the black piece, again, looks as though it was Indian inspired because of the mirror.
Well, a little bit. For some reason, I'd got it into my head, I wanted to do something using black. And I didn't want it to be sombre and a bit miserable, which occasionally black can be, I think. So again, I put in the mirrors, a mirror behind it, so that it looks like a frame, and then the extra mirrors on the tassels as well.
A bit influenced by shisha mirrors, I thought, when I saw
yes,
it.
Yes. Again, it's all growing out of that. I don't think I'll ever be completely free of
your
Indian
experience.
inspiration. It was tremendous, and it was a textile tour, so we did go around places looking at them making these things.
Oh, wonderful.
Some were spinning, and we saw weavings, and we saw carpet making and printing, hand printing, and it was really fascinating to see all these things. We were very lucky. We got into some places that tourists didn't usually get, and saw some lovely things being done, and people producing beautiful work in the most primitive of surroundings. Yes.
Well, thank you very much for sharing your work with us today.
Thank you too.
Clearly, if we catch up in another couple of years, you'll have some lovely new work to
Yes,
show us, I
I've got
guess.
plenty of ideas.
Look forward to seeing them, Dorothy. Thank you so much.
Thank you too, darling. Thank you.